Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Karlovsky. I just want to work my way through this warm up for you. So if you had any questions, hopefully this video will clear them up. So at the beginning here, it says formulas. And you might say, well, what was it asking? It was just a reminder of our arithmetic sequence formula. And so that structure is that a sub n equals the first term a sub 1 plus some constant d value times n minus 1. And then for geometric, we learned a very similar structure, just a couple different word changes, that the generic a sub n is also a sub 1, but instead of plus d, it is times r. And then instead of the repeated addition, which is multiplication, repeated multiplication, which is the exponent n minus 1. So those formulas, you're going to need to just practice, and know them inside and out. So let's look at number 1. It says find the 18th term of this pattern, 0.6, 1.2, 2.4, 4.8. I would hope that after a quick inspection, this is clearly geometric to you. And, the R value is kind of obviously 2. But remember, if you can't do it in your head, oh, what's the R value? You just take any term divided by the previous. So if you can't do it in your head, go calculate. What's 2.4 divided by 1.2? Oh, that's 2. All right, so I know the R value. I know I want the 18th term. So let's look at my formula. Well, a sub 18 is the first term, which I can identify from my list, 0.6 times the R value of 2, and then to the n minus 1. I know you don't have to show 18 minus 1, but I will in this case. And I go to my calculator and type it in, and the 18th term is 78643.2. All right, and that's pretty good. Remember, I told you, or Mrs. Schulten said, yeah, there's a lot of just formulas here, just a lot of plug and chug. You got to make sure you put the right numbers in the right variables. All right, number 2, moving right along. Find the 6th term of this sequence, and it's recursively defined. We know it's recursive because there's more than one statement. We have a starting term of -4, and then a secondary statement that uses this expression, which you should now be familiar with. A sub n minus 1 just means the previous term. So it says find the 6th term, and that's the downside of recursive is that it's not good for finding a term way far out. That's why explicit is much more direct. That's one way that the word explicit means, is direct. Recursive, you got to just generate it. So a lot of times I just kind of write out blanks, and we need the 6th term here. So let's just go for a ride. Well, the first term is -4. Now this second statement, let's read it. It says a sub n equals a sub n minus 1, the previous term, divided by 2, and then plus 10. So many of you, I'm sure, could just do this in your head. Oh, -4 divided by 2 plus 10, and that's -2 plus 10 is 8. All right, the next one. All right, take the previous. 8 divided by 2 plus 10. Well, that's 4 plus 10 is 14. And if you can just do them in your head, 7 plus 10 is 17. Okay, decimals. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5 plus 10, so 18.5. And finally, 18.5. I'm going to show this one. 18.5 divided by 2 plus 10. That's 9.25 plus 10, so 19.25. Okay, and unless we had a formula, we can't do that explicitly. And maybe, I'm sure there is a formula that exists, but not one that fits our easy mold of arithmetic or geometric. It didn't ask this question, but just looking, this formula is clearly not arithmetic because the first 2 terms is plus 12 and then it goes plus 6, so no longer arithmetic. Geometric, in my head, that does not appear to be geometric. The ratio between terms is certainly not constant. All right, now let's talk about arithmetic geometric. And so I like number 3. It says, find the 5th term of 6, comma 12, comma dot, 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 if the sequence is, and we give you both options, right? Because if we say 6, 12, what's the next number? Well, there's a lot of patterns that could go and find a 3rd, 4th, 5th term. So we just say, all right, if it's arithmetic. Well, if it's arithmetic, then 6, comma 12 means that there's a d value of positive 6. It's a constant addition of plus 6. And so let's find the 5th term. Well, the 5th term is the first term, which we can identify as 6, plus the d value, 6, 5 minus 1 times. All right, and go and calculate that in your head or with a calculator, and that would be 30. So if it was 6 comma 12 in arithmetic, the fifth term is 30. However, if it was geometric, well then 6 comma 12, a very common pattern, is times 2, right? So r would equal 2. And so now our fifth term instead is the first term 6 times the r value of 2 to the 5 minus 1 power. And again, in our calculator or in your head, you might be able to do that. And we should get 96. Okay. And finally, classic problem here is what term number is 347 in this sequence 19, 27, 35, 43, dot, dot, dot. Okay, that's not saying what is a sub 347. That's not what it's saying. It's saying the number 347 is what term position, what term number. Okay, so this one we're just going backwards. Well, so I don't know what position is, but I know that 347, I like to just tell the story. Where did it come from? Well, first off, what is this pattern? Quick inspection, this is clearly arithmetic with a d value of plus 8, plus 8, plus 8. All right, so that 347 came from our first term, 19, plus the d value of 8, n minus 1 times. And so that's a nice little linear equation for us to solve. Some of you might distribute, some of you might not. Personally, I would subtract 19 and get 3. Whoops, I already made that mistake. Pause, rewind. There you go. 328 equals 8 n minus 1. Divide by 8, that's 41 equals n minus 1. And then I get n equals 42. So what should your answer be? I think you'd be fine if you said a sub 42 equals 347. That could be your answer. Or your answer could just be like the 42nd term. If you're really answering the question that's being asked, what term number is it? It's the 42nd term. All right, so that was a little warm up. I hope that arithmetic and geometric are getting more comfortable for you. It's just a lot of formulas, and we're going to have a couple more formulas this chapter. So hopefully this warm up helped you, and then today's lesson will solidify it even a little bit more. Have a good day and take care.